Hey mom, so today we're going to learn why some chords are in certain keys and other chords are not in those keys. So I put something together in Excel. So I'm just going to share my screen. We'll take a look. So here we have the C major scale, how we built this from the chromatic scale, and then we use the major scale wrap to get these notes. And now we're going to use those to build chords. So the first chord you know, because we went over that, and so it is C major. So we build that by taking the root, the third, and the fifth. And I'm just going to put the root is already labeled on this on row 2, but the third is E and the fifth is G. So one interesting concept is we know that yes, the root, third, and fifth in the C major scale will get you C major, but we can go right down the line to the next note in the C major scale and build chords from that. And that will show what chords are in the key of C major. Okay, so we're going to go to D. And if we use the same formula, root, third, fifth, root, third, fifth, that's D, F, and A. Okay, so that is a D minor chord. This was a C major chord. Okay, I'm just going to put C. If there's a small m, it's going to be minor. Okay, and then we go to the next chord. And this is going to be an E chord. It's going to be an E minor, actually. So then we go to the next note, and that's an E. And so we're going to build a chord from here. And so we have the root, which is E, and then we go to the third, which is G, and then we go to the fifth, which is B. And if you played those notes on your guitar, it would sound melancholy. It would be an E minor chord. Okay, so these three chords are in the key of C major. If we go to the next note, that's F. And so that's the root. And then the third would be A. And then the fifth would be C. Okay, this chord, if you play that on your guitar, those three notes, it's going to be F major. Okay, the next note is G. And so that's the root. And then we take the third, which is B. Okay, and then this would be the fourth, because it would just repeat itself, right? And then the fifth would be D. And so this chord is G major. Okay, and then we go to A. And so A is the root. The third would be after B, which is C. And then the fifth would be E. This chord is A minor. And then we go to B. And this is kind of the odd duck of the family, the sheep uncle or the black sheep or whatever they say. So here it's B, and we pick up D, which is the third, and then we pick up F, which is BDF, and that's a B diminished chord. Okay, so it's sounds weird if you were to play that, but that is actually a chord in the key of C major. This is very rarely used in popular music, so I wouldn't spend too much time on that. But one thing I do want to show you is that when you build this all out, what you have is, I'm going to highlight these. Let's shade these in orange. Oopsie. I'm going to highlight these, and we are going to shade these in orange, the minor chords. And what you can see is that the first chord, the fourth and fifth chord are major. And then the second, third, and sixth are minor. And that holds in every key. As we saw in our cowboy chords, where they were showing us a pattern, the 1, 5, 6, 4. So basically the 1, the 5, the 6, and the 4. So it'd be C, G, A minor, and F. And so with that, you can see that if you were to do the same thing, if you started with G, and as we showed previously, you took the G major scale and did this build up, you would get to the chords in the key of G major. And you can go right down the line. You can go to A flat major and do the same thing. It's math. It's formulaic. And so that's why those chords all go together, because they have the same DNA. And so when you're playing in the key of C major and you play D minor, E minor, F, G, all those chords are going to sound good. Okay, so I'm going to show you some chords. I'm going to play all these chords, and you're going to hear how they go together. And then I'm going to play a chord that's outside the key. And then you tell me which chord is outside the key. Okay, so I'm going to play some chords in the C major, and then I'm going to play a chord that's going to sound pretty odd. So here we go. See, you hear that second chord. I played A major instead of A minor, and it sounded pretty odd because A major is not in the key of C. Actually, A major, the difference between A major and A minor is that third note, okay? In A major, the third note is a C sharp. In A minor, it's C. So if you think about it, in the key of C, you want to hear that C because we're in that key. And if you play a C sharp, it's going to sound really, really dissonant and odd, like it's a misfit. It doesn't belong. So that is why understanding chromatic scale, understanding the major scale, understanding how to build chords, because then you can see the big picture of, oh, this is why these chords sound good. This is when I'm writing a song or I'm listening to a song on the radio. There's certain formulas that just sound pleasing because they're built mathematically from certain tonalities that just work well together. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope it was pretty clear. And what I'd like you to do is build the chords in the key of G major, just using the same thing that I just showed right there. Build those out, and I'll have a link to download where you could see how I built it out using that template. Okay?